What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning this weekend's world title fight in Tokyo, Japan at 118 pounds. It's a unification title fight between the WBC champion Junto Nakatani and the IBF world champion Ryosuke Nishida. Guys, before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. If you haven't already, could you please remember to hit subscribe? Also, like this video, and right now, go down to the bottom of your screen, find that bell notification button, hit that so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Thank you. All right, guys, it's business as usual on my channel. If you've been following, we've been going all around the world documenting another busy week in the sport of boxing. We went to the UK for a couple fight features. We talked about the Joshua Kelly fight. Obviously, we covered Fabio Wardley versus Justice Hooney. Then we went to the States to talk about the headliner in Norfolk, Virginia, another world title fight between the champion Keyshawn Davis and the challenger Edwin De Los Santos. But right now, we're in Japan once again to talk about a world title unification fight between Junto Nakatani and Ryosuke Nishida. Guys, in my opinion, Nakatani is one of the best fighters in the world. He's an undefeated knockout artist. I put him in the pound for pound rankings. I think right now the Ring Magazine does have him in the top 10. So whenever he fights, I'm tuning in. He's fighting another Japanese world champion. Guys, Japan has the 118-pound division on lockdown. We just covered another champion in that division last week with a spectacular performance, Takai, but this time we're going to talk about Nishida. This is a guy who only has a handful of pro fights. He's 10-0, 2 knockouts, isn't a knockout artist, goes about his business totally different than his opponent, Nakatani. He fought for a world title in his 8th pro fight. He won a close decision, and then he defended it once. He's a southpaw, just like Nakatani, and by far, without a doubt, this will be the biggest test of his career. So in this video, we are going to go and talk about how both fighters go about their business. We're going to talk about what they've been up to in their career, and stay tuned to the end of the video because that's when I'll be going over the Las Vegas odds. I'll also give you my prediction on telling you where to put your money. All right, guys, on paper, watch his highlights. If you're unaware of Junto Nakatani, this kid is special. When we think of Japan, when we think of boxing, the number one name that always comes to mind first is the monster, Naoya Inoue. But close behind, on his heels, in a division below, is Junto Nakatani. It has been spoken about by Turki Al-Sheikh and the Ring, how they have a gentleman's agreement to actually fight in 2026. But before that goes down, there's some business to be handled in 2025, and here we are. When I think about Nakatani, if you don't know about him, if you've never seen him, he's a boxer puncher. The thing that makes him special is he fights well at all ranges. He could fight you at distance with his jab. He's long for the division, but he also likes mixing it up in the pocket, and he has power. He has knockouts early, he has knockouts late, and as of recently, his last 4 have ended by stoppage. Now, when I also think about Nakatani, I don't just stop at what he does in the ring. You can't talk about him without talking about the magnificent job Rudy Hernandez has done, the Los Angeles guy who has molded Nakatani since he was 15 years old, and he's turned him into one of the greatest boxers of his era. He's been on record recently saying that Nakatani shouldn't have to wait, doesn't have to wait, and is ready right now to fight Naoya Inoue. We'll see if and when that fight goes down, and I'll be here waiting impatiently because I can't wait to see that fight. Right now, I want to take a closer look though at what's at stake this weekend in Tokyo, Japan. Guys, boxing returns to the land of the rising sun on ESPN Plus for a unified bantamweight title fight in Tokyo, Japan. It's taking place at the Ariake Coliseum. Undefeated WBC champion Junto Nakatani faces IBF champion Ryosuke Nishida, as the winner looks to either face another champion at 118 or move up to super bantamweight and face the undisputed champ Naoya Inoue. Fighting 3 times in 24, is entering his second fight in 2025 after scoring a 3rd round knockout over David Cuellar in February. Afterward, the now famous call-out from Inoue occurred at the Japanese Boxing Annual Awards Ceremony, setting up the potential super fight for 2026 at the Tokyo Dome. Before any of that can happen though, both Nakatani and Inoue, like I already mentioned, do have to win a pair of fights to make their contest one of the biggest in boxing. Here to stop all of that is the undefeated Nishida, who won the IBF title in May 2024 when he beat Emmanuel Rodriguez. Nishida had one title defense, and that was a 7th round knockout over Anuchai Donsua in December. Now 6 months later, Nishida looks to add another belt to his resume, but will have to defeat Nakatani to do so. Guys, if you remember, Nishida was actually supposed to fight this March against Jose Reyes. That was his #1 mandatory contender, but that fight fell through. And why not put your hands up to unify? As boxing fans, as fight fans, we can't get enough of unification fights. I always talk about it. Hopefully we see more and more in all the divisions. We want to see champions fight champions. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at the underdog in this fight, the IBF World Champion, Ryosuke Nishida, and see what he's been up to. Guys, Nishida's 10-0 with 2 knockouts. Out of 1,166 fighters at 118 pounds, he's ranked #2. He's fought a total career of 92 pro rounds and carries into the ring a 20% career knockout to win ratio. He is the IBF World Bantamweight Champion. The 28-year-old Japanese fighter is a southpaw, standing at 5'7" with a 68-inch reach. He was born in Kashibanara, Japan, and resides in Osaka, Japan. We last saw him fight Donsua, 16-0, stopped him in the 7th. Rodriguez, 22-2 UD in the 12th. Jimenez, 21-3 UD in the 12th. Fioyam, 19-3 UD in the 12th. Palacio, 11-1 UD in the 10th. Guys, if you look at Nishida's upbringing, what you'll find about him is he started boxing at a young age through his teens, was living basically at the gym training, and then he turned his back on the sport to pursue a career post-college, and then came back to boxing and was literally fast-tracked to a world title shot. In his 8th fight, he not only got that opportunity, but he became a world champion. And now what sits in front of him, I don't want to really say spoiler because he's already a champion, but in terms of the unwritten plans of the future fights that are supposed to take place between Inoue and Junto, you know Nishida is sitting back wanting to ruin those future fight plans. We've seen it happen before. We just saw it last week. Fighters looking past fighters. Plant losing to Resendez. Charlo did his part, and now, supposedly we're not going to see Plant versus Charlo. And in my opinion, in boxing, it's never good to look ahead. Right now, I do want to take a closer look at the knockout artist, Junto Nakatani. Guys, Junto's 30-0 with 23 knockouts out of 1,166 fighters at 118 pounds. He's ranked #1. He's fought a career total of 146 pro rounds. He carries into the ring a 77% career knockout to win ratio. He is the WBC World Bantamweight Champion. His adoring fans know him as Big Bang. The 27-year-old Japanese fighter is a 5'8" southpaw with a 68.5-inch reach. He was born in Inabe-gunmi, Japan, and resides in Sagamihara, Kanagawa, Japan. We last saw him fight Contreras, 28-0, knocked him out in the 3rd. Salapat, 76-1, stopped him in the 6th. Astrolabio, 19-4, stopped him in the 1st. Santiago, 28-3, stopped him in the 6th. RG Cortez, 25-3, UD in the 12th. And the fight before that, he fought Andrew Maloney and Ozzy, and he stopped him in the 12th in a viral knockout. Junto Nakatani really has it all. Talking about a toolbox, when you're talking about an arsenal, offensively and defensively. More importantly, when he smells blood in the water, he finishes the show. And even though he has a lot of early round stoppages, in my opinion, he doesn't rush his work. He's literally like an artist out there painting on canvas, and he takes what his opponent gives him, and sometimes if you're over aggressive, he's going to get you out of there. This is an interesting matchup between 2 undefeated Japanese world champions. Both of these guys are going to be southpaws. When I look at them side by side, a lot of the physical things cancel each other out. Nakatani will be a little bit taller, a little bit longer. Like I said, they're both undefeated, but the ring experience, the world title experience, the rounds, all of that is on Nakatani's side. He turned pro in 2015 compared to Nishida's 2019, and look at the records, 30-0, 10-0. Also styles, Nishida's not a one-punch guy, 20% career knockout to win ratio. He's not a guy that's gonna look to end the show, even though his last fight did end in stoppage. I fully expect Nakatani to put on an exceptional show. I think both Japanese guys are gonna be tough. If you know anything about Japanese boxing, especially champions, especially if you tuned into the show, you've been watching the fights the last month, these guys are tough as nails. So that Japanese crowd in Tokyo is going to be electric. And I think early on it's going to be competitive, but the question is, how long for? Right now, I want to take a closer look at the Las Vegas odds. Guys, before I give you my prediction, I want to remind everybody, especially if you're new to the channel, I do live streams every day. Leading up to the weekend, we're building our parlays. I'm doing my money line bets, my prop bets, and method of victory bets. So right now, I'm going to give you my money line prediction. Let's pull our apps out and see where the money line is. Currently, guys, Nakatani is the favorite at $1.11. meaning you put 100 on Junto, you get your money back plus $11. The draw is 20-1. Nishida, the 10-0 undefeated champion, is a heavy underdog. He's a 725, meaning you put 100 on him to win on the money line. You get your money back plus 625. Guys, it's no secret I'm a fan of Nakatani. I think this is going to be close for a little bit. I think Nakatani is going to do what he wants. I fully expect Junto Nakatani to remain undefeated and continue on that trajectory for a super fight. I just think he has too many tools in the toolbox. I think the work that Rudy has done with him to square off some of the holes in his defense have been exceptional. I think this kid is going to be a tough out for the rest of his career for anybody at 18, 22, and who knows, maybe even 26, depending on how he fills out. Guys, this is not an echo chamber. Maybe some of you guys are Nishida fans. Maybe you know something that I don't know in the comment section below. At the end of the fight, are we going to see Nakatani's hand raised, or are we going to see Nishida's hand raised? Also, guys, stay tuned to the channel, because if you haven't seen my breakdown, analysis, and prediction of the world title fight at 135 pounds going down this weekend in Norfolk, Virginia, between the champion Keyshawn Davis and the challenger, the Dominican Edwin De Los Santos, stay tuned, because that's coming up right now.